After doing the worst RPG sequels list, if you haven't seen it yet, the link is in the description, let's cover the best RPG sequels. There's plenty of them. So here are the rules in order to not make this list 1 hour long. To enter the rankings, the sequel needs to be an improvement over the original, and I must have played it. Also, the goal is to only mention one game in the franchise that improved the franchise and is better than the previous game. Needs to be a jump in quality, that is. I'm sure there are far more entries to be added, but either I forgot to add them, haven't played it, or am unfamiliar with the franchise. I won't include games like Baldur's Gate 2 and Fallout 2 because the originals were already incredible games, and sequels are not that much of an improvement, as it's more of a change in style or more of the same that did improve on some things but not enough of a jump in quality. I hope it's clearer now that what the list is about. Of course, it's an entirely subjective list, same as every attempt at ranking anything. So let's get started, you upgraded bastards. At number 11 is Pillars of Eternity 2. I've played both games and love them dearly. However, I do prefer the second one due to incredible gameplay and the unique character progression system inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, but modified a bit, which made it one of the best CRPG character leveling systems I've seen yet. Combat and gameplay is improved over the original. Deathfire Archipelago is a brilliant world that allows more freedom of exploration than the original, with more interesting locations, factions. While players have been disappointed with the impact of the main character through story choices, overall Pillars of Eternity 2 is an improvement in other aspects and one of my favorite CRPGs of all time. At number 10 is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Again, I love both games, but do think that the sequel is generally a better game. It offers more, it's more refined, polished, balancing is much better than the original, although far from amazing still. Environments are more detailed and varied, world is more alive, writing is incredible, quests are interesting, brilliant characters. It's a proper first-person RPG that I can't recommend enough. While there were some questionable DEI decisions, it was minimal and didn't affect the game that much, but it's still there, which is a negative when compared to the first game. Outside of that, it's an improvement in almost every aspect. At number 9 is Icewind Dale 2. The original is a good game, and the sequel isn't that much better, but it does what sequels should do. Refines, adds more things to fit the setting, and improves things that weren't at its best before. Combat in the second game is improved by becoming more tactical through implementation of 3rd edition D&D rule set, which allows more build variety and more tactical gameplay, and there's more tactical battlefield options like choke points. Sequel also adds more RPG elements like towns, NPC interactions, quests, which isn't Icewind Dale's strong point, as the focus is primarily on combat, but still an addition that added more dynamic gameplay. Settings seemed better in the sequel as well, with better level design and variety. Overall, a better game. At number 8 is Dark Souls. Demon's Souls is the first game that created the Souls craze, and for a good reason. It's a brilliant game in its own right, but Dark Souls is essentially an improvement in almost every way. Not the atmosphere though, as Demon's Souls has that nailed to perfection. What Dark Souls does better is the great interconnected world compared to the disconnected one in Demon's Souls. Combat is improved with more weapon and spell choices. Boss fights are different with more focus on a dual type encounters rather than mechanics and methodical ones in Demon's Souls, which adds much more replayability and excitement. Role is also richer and broader. More NPCs, more quests. Dark Souls is Demon's Souls improved and more of everything essentially. At number 7 is Wasteland 3. I love inXile's Wasteland games so much. They are the closest thing to old Fallout sequels considering the writing style and the team behind it. Wasteland 2 in my opinion had better atmosphere, world and factions, but Wasteland 3 dramatically improved combat and with it added more replayability and enjoyment. I liked Wasteland 2's combat feeling, but it was bare bones combat, with some encounters being quite tedious and unfair due to lack of depth and tactical options. Don't get me wrong, third one didn't have mediocre or bad world, atmosphere and factions, but it wasn't as interesting as the second one, even though the impact of choices might be better in the third. It is a more compact and polished game than Wasteland 2, but also a bit lesser in scope. Can't go wrong with both of these games, but Wasteland 3 improves some crucial gameplay things, mainly combat, and with it deserves a spot on this list for me. At number 6 we have Torchlight 2, oldie but goodie. Torchlight 2 is a drastic improvement over the original, and it quickly showed a rise in popularity. It offers expanded world and exploration, not just descending into mines anymore, more characters and customization options, which leads to more build variety and replayability. Introduction of multiplayer that adds ton more replayability and fun potential. More monsters, better animations, layers of polish, quality of life. It's a better game in many ways, and don't think there are many that are going to think otherwise. At number 5 we have a legend, Diablo 2. Diablo 1 was a more atmospheric, a bit darker and story-driven game that I adored as a kid, but Diablo 2 took many important aspects to another level. It expanded on the first game by introducing more acts with distinct environments, refined systems, much better character progression, more classes, more skills per classes, more enemy types, new AI behaviors, varied combat pacing, loot depth, quality of life improvements, replayability. I even like the visual upgrades for the resurrected version too, and switched from original graphics to remastered graphics with the press of a button. What a sequel. Still the best Diablo game to date, without question. At number 4 is Divinity Original Sin 2. It's not higher on the list because the first game is very good as well. But the sequel though, chef's kiss. Larian used their own systems and ways of doing things which resonate greatly with all types of audiences, including experienced players and the newbies that have for a good reason reservations into attempting CRPGs. Divinity Original Sin 2 struck a perfect note, improving over the original in many ways. Writing style significantly improved by becoming more detailed, mature, philosophical and nuanced. Combat became far more tactical with the new physical magical armor system. One thing I didn't like was the addition of blessed and cursed surfaces, as it was quite annoying to manage it. Don't think that was a necessary inclusion, as it didn't make the combat better. Less fiddly combat overall with less section points and less micromanagement is also in the second game. More build diversity with better class synergies. Maps are larger and richer with content. Presentation is better, technical improvements, quality of life. It's considered one of the best CRPGs for a reason. Much needed too for gaming. Number 3 is another CRPG, which is Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Kingmaker is already a good game, but what Wrath of the Righteous did is something I have been screaming into the void for ages. It's a fantasy world. Bloody use it. What I mean by that is to make the most interesting possible characters that people would salivate to play. And they did. Lich, Angel, Demon, Devil, Swarm, Gold Dragon and whatnot. Mythic paths added so much to the game and made the story one of the most epic ones I've experienced. Not the best written ever, but definitely the most epic. More classes were added too with better character sheet presentation and clarity. Addition of turn-based mode. Better challenge curve. Better visually. Better narrative quality. Better companion reactions due to mythic path choices. Some problems remained, like the tedious pre-combat buffing and completely unnecessary and badly done crusade battles. Incredible game overall and a big improvement over the original. Number 2 is Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect was such a breath of fresh air when it launched. It was something truly unique and special. Thankfully, it only got better with this sequel. Combat is vastly better, more fluid, tactical, better squad management, less repetitive, better encounter pacing, challenge variety. Writing and companions were also better. It's a more tightly told story with a better narrative. Companion system was also improved significantly with the loyalty system. companion quests tied directly into the main story, which made for a great fit. Decision making and consequences are more significant. Simplified inventory management, improved galaxy map and mission markers, better UI, less filler content. All of these things make Mass Effect 2 the best one in the series. And now the number one, easy choice, Witcher 3. Witcher 2 improved over the original quite a bit, but what Witcher 3 did is such a leap forward that it created a classic that is still the open world RPG that every single one is going to be compared to. Open world created a greater sense of freedom with rich and varied exploration. Also, the world is more alive and reactive. Monster hunts are fantastic. Great locations with many interactable NPCs. Moral choices, incredible character story and lore. Visually a huge leap forward. Combat being the weakest part of the game, but still good in my opinion, especially with the deeper alchemy and crafting systems. It's more streamlined and cinematic compared to Witcher 2, which might not be what some of the fans wanted, but it's definitely more fluid and responsive. Gear system has also been improved. UI has been streamlined for the better. Better fast travel. Witcher 3 is to this day one of the best RPGs ever made, and for a good reason. If by any chance you haven't played it, I don't know why you're still watching this video. Buy it and enjoy it. DLCs are also amazing. What a game. Anyway, that's it for the list. Reviews on Patreon and Subscribestar with video explanation why I'm moving new ones there, all in description. Thanks for watching.